So my parents are born and raised in Puerto Rico, just like me. We're literally native islanders from Puerto Rico. My stepdad joined the military, and so we started in Puerto Rico. I moved to Oklahoma around 2013, 2012. I had to repeat seventh grade, not because of my grades, it's because my language was holding me back. They were like, you got the grades, it's just like you need to, do it again because the language barrier. So I did. So we went from Puerto Rico. Um, that was where I attended middle school through my freshman year of high school. Then from Oklahoma, we moved to Pennsylvania, and then that's where I finished high school. And I started my first 2 years at 3 years at Slippery Rock University, Pennsylvania, and my senior year to freshman year of college, that summer period, that's when my parents moved to Florida. I went to the Puerto Rico's national championship. I got that offered my sophomore year when I won my conference and in the hurdles. And one of the coaches that trains the youth Olympic team of Puerto Rico, basically, kind of contacted me the day of the conference meet, and he told me if I knew about the national championship, and if I've ever been on it to compete or on it or whatever, those in amongst that. And I was like, no, I haven't been on it. Like I didn't even know that Puerto Rico had a national like championship at all. Um, so that's how it came to be, and went to the championship, and I ended up competing against you know older men that are experienced in the sport, and it was nerve-wracking, because I was only like 19, 20 years old, and I'm in a category where it's like 20 plus or 19 plus. It's kind of like nerve-wracking, but getting top three in the island, that kind of gave me hope, that I'm one of the best athletes that I can come out of Puerto Rico. And it just gave me like hope to represent them hopefully in any Olympic or worldwide, track and field stage. I've always been aware of my culture, like since I was, young, because I'm surrounded by it so often. Not only because you have some, Latino kids or people that go home and speak English, write English, like the daily basis, just to get better in the language, which it helps. But my parents were just so set on like, you go home, you talk to me in Spanish, you write to me in Spanish. Like they were always like kept the culture consistent every single day in the language. And always called your grandma, always called your uncle, keeping those things, but doing it in our way, in our culture, in Spanish, and talking about like the foods that we have, or what do you want from, because my grandma gives us like, small packages, like these candies that we have from Puerto Rico. So that's kind of like a way that, it just didn't affect, like it wasn't there my teenage years. It's always been there because my family enforces it so much, which I mean, I'm grateful for, because, I can write it and speak it with any problems. The food and the music are the best aspects, because, and what else? What else can I? Because I don't know. It's like it's a fun culture. Like, I would say like some of the places could be one of the aspects that you guys can, people can look into. But honestly, it's just kind of food and the language and the music. I would say those are the best aspects to look forward to, because it's some like Latino groups, like some like Mexicans have like their own type of music, Puerto Ricans have our own type of music, Cuban have their own type of music, and it's one of those small aspects that you're like, oh wow, like every group has the unique aspect, but that unique aspect is what brings us together, if that makes sense. It means joy, celebration, and I would say like unity amongst the Latinos and the Hispanic group, because constantly people often um they put us in one box, basically. They just think like they only like change our terms if it's a different where if you're like from a different country, they constantly just label you as that. Like they just know me as a Puerto Rican, or they just know me as, or they just know that person as Mexican or Venezuelan or Colombian. And half of that is right. I mean, that's just like a part of it. It's not the whole, the whole picture. People don't constantly see that all of us are not only bonded by a language, but basically the culture that Latinos have. There's a specific way that we do things at home. There's a specific food that we like. There's a specific food, there's specific music taste that we enjoy. Like that's what like Spanish Heritage Month means to me. It's just unity amongst all Latinos, no matter what group of Latino or you are, or what kind of or what specific music you like, or what specific food you like, or it means unity amongst all of us and sharing our experiences as Latinos. That's what it means to me. They should take away from this month the food. Again, you gotta love the food. The food, the music, and the unity that brings us together. That's literally all I want to put out. The unity of our culture. I just want people to I just want them to really see and comprehend, like, wow, like besides the Spanish language they have in common, and maybe the different types of music, look at the amazing like friendships and bonds because of similar experiences. All of that, the whole Latino group has. Like, I just want them to look at that perspective, not just the outside, but the inside. Like,